Hey guys, what is going on? My name's Tyler McNabb. This is the old 400EX. I know you guys haven't seen this thing in a while, but she's back. And of course, my YFZ 450R. So, we are out here at Extreme XC round number 9 in Newberry, Indiana, the county line race. So, this is a race we raced at last year. It was a brand new property last year, so really excited for this one. I had a lot of fun at this property. It was a super cool track. Had some issues at the race, unfortunately. The old 400 flipped down a hill. I know I did that a couple times last year, but anyway, didn't have the best race, but the track was quite a bit of fun. It bermed up super well. It was a very nice kind of sandy soil here. So I'm looking forward to railing some berms, hopefully, in the old YFZ. So should be a pretty good time, and hopefully we're going to keep from flipping down any hills. But we're out here. It is Friday afternoon. We don't race till Sunday. Like I said, quads are racing on Sundays now for the rest of the year. But we just wanted to come out. Haven't had a good camping weekend in a while, so figured we'd come out, do some camping for the weekend, and should be a good time. So I don't think there's any pro hills or creek jumps or anything like that at this race, so probably won't have anything like that. But I may go out, do a little bit of scoping around the track just to see if I can find anything interesting. So with that, let's get into this video and do some racing this weekend. One thing that's kind of cool about this place is it is literally right off the interstate. So that road right out there where you can see cars driving by and stuff, and there'll probably be some semis driving through here shortly, but that is Interstate 69. So it is like right next to the track, and as you can see right up there, there's a cell phone tower. So something we don't have very often at the races is cell service, but is very abundant here. So kind of like the main hill to the main part of the property, you come in right down here, interstate right out there. But it's kind of cool because you're kind of up on a hill, you can see pretty far out, so it's just kind of cool. I thought it would be a cool view to share, so there's that. Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful Sunday morning. I skipped over Saturday because, well, hopefully I threw some highlights in of the creek jump of the bikes because I took some of that. But anyway, it is officially Sunday morning, which means it's race day. So yeah, not much went on Saturday. It was pretty much just hanging out, chilling. We slept in a little bit, kind of went out, walked a little bit of the track, looked at some watched some bikes, and honestly that was about it. Hung out. Some of our buddies got here last night. We got the Bairds over here, we got the Shinkles back there, the Shields on the other side, and we were just out here last night. We were playing some cards, hanging out around the fire, just having a good old time at the races. So it is officially Sunday morning, which means we are going to do some racing today. So I'm going to get out, just had some breakfast, and gonna go down and see if we can get some highlights of the Pee-wee this morning. So after I do all that stuff, I will catch up with you guys a little bit before the race. Okay guys, well we are all suited up, and you know what, that Fly Racing mesh gear keeping me cool. So about ready to go, got the quad up on the line, the old 400 sitting over here all sad. She wants to be out on the racetrack, but that'll be for another day. So track is looking pretty good. I never took you back, and I don't even know if I said anything about it. Well, I showed you the bike highlights of the creek jump. I basically decided at this point that I'm gonna hit it the first lap, just take it by storm, because if I want to be up with those top guys in the AM, they're hitting it, I gotta hit it. So that's my mentality at this point. I'm gonna plan on hitting it as long as there's nothing wrong when I get there, and we'll see from there. But got all suited up, getting ready to head up to the line. So I will see you guys up on the start line. Here we go, guys. some of you are gonna say you should have just raced without goggles, but I can't. Shoot, where are they? Oh, there they are. Okay guys, we made it home. It's actually Monday morning. I got the day off work, figured I'd take a day off, had some vacation I needed to use, and figured I'd recoup, just kind of take a day to relax after the long race weekend. So plus last night I was dead tired because not only was I exhausted from the race, but it was hot as all get out. It was like, basically, I mean, it ended up being in the low 90s or so by the time we raced. So it was plenty hot, and it's already, well, let's see, my watch doesn't say at the moment, but I mean, it's already super humid, and this week it's supposed to be like crazy hot. But anyway, that's not why you guys are here. So a little bit of a race report. Got off to a pretty good start. I'm pretty sure, I wasn't sure if I got the whole shot or not, but after watching the video back, it looked like Charlie barely edged me out going into the actual whole shot turn. So congrats to him. He got another whole shot. I almost had him, but anyway, he edged me out on the whole shot, and then going into the next turn, he had the inside, so he was able to get into the woods first. He opened up with a blistering pace. I mean, he was moving. I was struggling to keep up just a little bit, but I kept him within sight. We were moving pretty good, and then I let him get a little bit too far ahead, and the bad thing about that is I could still see him, but we got a, not a lapper, but just a person who was in the row in front of us, in between us, and they didn't let me around or anything, so I was riding. Charlie was still right in front of him, so he wasn't getting away or anything. And then, as you guys saw on the old GoPro, we went into like a meadow section that was insanely wet and really muddy, that the bikes just destroyed. And so we came into it, and it was partially my fault because I should have stayed back a little bit. But the guy in front of me, he got about halfway into that mud hole, and then he just pinned it, which is basically the same thing I did once I got into it because I couldn't really see at that point. But when he pinned it, he roosted the crap out of me, totally covered the GoPro, and it just destroyed my roll-off system. So it hit my roll-offs. I pulled them like 5 times, and like a tiny bit of mud came off, but like I couldn't see at all. And so I was like, well, I'm done with these. So I ripped those off real quick. I wiped the camera, got the camera clean. And at that point I was riding with no goggles, which a lot of people ride with no goggles, but me personally, I can't. Like, I don't know how people do it. I cannot ride, especially if there's any sort of dust on the track, which there was a decent amount, especially in the field sections and stuff on this track. So I could not ride without goggles. So as you saw, after that, ripped off the goggles, went up to the creek jump, and then the guy that roosted me, he stopped in front of the creek jump. And so I was like, what the heck? And so I couldn't do anything. And so I had to take the go around, but Charlie had already taken the creek jump. So that gave him probably a good 20-some second lead on me. I'm not exactly sure what the go around was, but it was probably a good 20, maybe 25 seconds or so, at least. And so that really blew, because I lost sight of him. And so I was just riding as best I could at that point. Came through at the end of lap 1. I was 30 seconds back from Charlie, and so I figured, okay, I'm gonna well, at that point I knew I had to stop real quick and grab some goggles, which was rather unfortunate because that cost me about a minute. By the time I went back to the trailer, got my goggles, put them on, came back to the track, that was probably right about a minute is what that took me. So that set me back a good bit, and I figured I'd just ride as best I could. And so I set out, tried to ride as best I could, but it just wasn't enough. I felt like I was riding pretty good, but it seemed like every lap I was just losing time, and eventually it got to the point where I was just so far back I couldn't make up any time. And no excuses other than I just didn't ride as fast as I needed to, and my fitness probably just wasn't quite there. By the hour and a half, the 2-lap mark, essentially the 2-lap card came out, I was pretty wore out. So nothing to say there other than it's what it is. Charlie rode a great pace, and yeah, he got another class win. So I ended up 3rd in class. Congrats to him on another class win. Yeah, we're going to be taking this down to the wire, but basically I think right now with how the points set, I still have the points lead, but that doesn't factor in the drop. And so with the drop, I think he's going to have about a 6-point lead on me at this point, 6 or 7, somewhere in there. So yeah, we will see what happens. But basically, these last 3 rounds are going to be important. It's going to be gonna be on me basically to if I want to do something in the championship. So ended up 3rd out of 5 in class is what I ended up, and then 13th out of, it was like 50, 54, 55 maybe overall, something in there. So really not a terrible day, especially in the overall. I know I think I'm still sitting 2nd overall in points because the guy that was right behind me, that was 3rd, he was only a couple points behind me. I think he didn't have a great day, so his points dropped a little bit. So that gives me a little bit of breathing room in the overall. But then the guy in 1st, he ended up getting like 2nd overall, so he extended his points lead a good bit. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, not a terrible day. The bike performed as it should have. Got a little bit of mud on her from some of those creek sections, and then that meadow section that was really muddy, but other than that, wasn't too bad of a day. As you guys saw, I came back lap 2 and I did hit the creek jump, and then I hit it from there on out. It wasn't bad at all. A lot of people were expecting it to be pretty gnarly, and it was a big jump, don't get me wrong. However, yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would have been. So not too bad of a day. Not my best race, but not my worst race either. So I finished, had no overheating problems, so that's really good. As you can see, the old furnace filter, I mean, it looks like it kept quite a bit of mud out. I'll have to take it out and actually look at the radiator to see what it looks like. But this thing is not very dirty at all, and looks like my zip tie came undone there, but we'll have to check it out. But kind of my theory behind that too is, I'm guessing the mud doesn't have as much surface area to stick to, since it's just like a bunch of strings basically. And so I'm wondering if why that stuff works so well is not only does it, you know, keep the mud from getting through, but the mud can't really stick to it because it's just a bunch of like strings and stuff. So yeah, seemed to work pretty good, and I will definitely be using that from all my races going forward. So thank you guys for coming and watching. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, had another great weekend at the races, talked to a lot of good people. Even still, I'm meeting new faces every week. People wishing me good luck, all that kind of cool stuff. People cheering me on the track. It's always a great weekend at the races, great family environment, and yeah, I just love it. It's one of the best sports there is. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Yeah, bittersweet weekend. Not necessarily what I wanted to finish, but honestly, I can't complain with the finish. So I'll go ahead and end out this one. So thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one.